Hello and welcome to Pause the Vows episode 32. And this was not our last dinner party before Final Vows. Was it second to last?
Penultimate.
Yeah, penultimate one. And it was most people catching up about the homestays, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it starts with David and Alicia.
Yeah, he said he's feeling low after everything that happened at the homestay and yeah, just feeling a lot of pressure, kind of sick of hearing all the negative things about himself from Alyssa and all the pressure from family and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just could not work it out because the mom likes him, the friends like him. Suddenly she's like, I don't know if this guy is right for me
Yeah.
after 7 weeks of being in the experiment.
So they sat down while they were in the apartment, didn't they? And he was like, "Oh, I think I need to just take some space, just clear my head." And then they showed her talking directly to camera, and she was like, "Space? Gladly. I need space as well." And started complaining that he's snoring louder than usual, and she's just generally a bit fed up with him right now.
Yeah, she's Beck and Annie seems to be having a good time. Like they made up, they had a shag, and everything is all made up.
They had a shag. Yeah, they're just carrying on with the everything's fine, aren't they? Isn't everything so wonderful?
Yeah, and we have seen Gia and
G and Scott,
Scott. Yeah,
everything just playing happy families, getting along for getting along's sake, staying in.
yeah, in front of the camera.
Yeah. Rachel and Stephen, they arrived first at the cocktail party for the dinner party. They seemed super relaxed and happy together and like they actually properly connected at the homestay, which is really nice. I
Yeah,
know you're probably not their biggest fan, but I think what we're seeing for them seems like it's really good.
yeah, it is really good. It's just that Rachel, we just don't know what will blow her mind up because she seems to think that she knows what is fair and what is unfair. She just gets upset at the silliest of the things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it could work out. I just worry that when Steven stops being the pleaser,
Yeah.
it might all blow up. But they did have a fantastic homestay.
Yeah. I mean, there is that potential that, something simple might blow up the whole relationship. Because, like you said quite a while ago, she's a very sensitive person. So,
She still is. It's
and
just that nobody is
oh, I mean,
upsetting
I
her.
didn't say she's not sensitive anymore. I mean, you said it a while ago. She is a very sensitive. So it could be anything that kind of sets off a spiral or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah,
But the way that they talked about their homestay at the cocktail party and with us at the dinner party, both of them, I just thought it was really lovely.
yeah, it was really
Yeah.
lovely. I'm not taking anything from that. They had a really wonderful homestay and they had fun. They connected. Everything is going well.
Yeah.
And once they entered, the second couple to enter is our fake star Alicia and
David.
David.
Yeah. But just in the car before they arrived, Alyssa seemed to be starting to kind of, I don't know, she seemed quite irritable. I didn't kind of catch what he was doing, but she was like, "Stop that. The cameras will pick that up. The microphones will pick that up." Like he was making some kind of noise. And then he was like rubbing his leg. Like a lot of people do that when they're anxious or just like a habit, when they're just kind of thinking. She was like, "Stop that."
Yeah,
Snapping at him a little bit. And then we heard them from behind the door before they entered, where she was basically sounded like she was trying to change the narrative. Like, oh no, 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 like it's not that we both need and want to take space. It's just we're taking time to reflect on things. Like control the narrative, make things sound better, take charge herself of how things are rather than letting him set the pace and everything.
yeah. If you have seen the previous dinner parties when they show Alicia and David, they never held hands or anything. But during this time, Alicia is holding David's hand because she doesn't want to come out as the bad person. She cares,
Yeah.
and even just before entering, she's trying to create a narrative so that she doesn't look bad. It's always about how you look rather than how you are.
Yeah.
And once they enter, who is the next couple? It's Gia and Scott.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was Gia and Scott. They held hands. They are playing for the TV, and then we have Beck and Danny Beck
Hmm.
looked really happy. Danny had his face as if,
The mask, just the mask.
yeah,
They arrived, didn't they, at the cocktail party, and Beck was saying that everything's great and isn't everything wonderful, and the homestay was fantastic, and we're gonna move in together. He's gonna move to Adelaide. He's gonna move to my place. And then it cut to Danny talking to the guys, and he's like, "Oh, moving in immediately is too much for me. I felt really uncomfortable in her house, and all these different things." Like, not quite saying the opposite, but definitely not sounding like he's aligned with her.
yeah, he's
And then later on at the table, when he was saying, he said he'd feel like a bitch moving into her place.
all right. Let's continue just how the couples arrived in, and then we'll talk about the dinner meetings.
Okay. So last to arrive was Sam and Chris. Oh no, Philip and Stella arrived at some point. But I'll be honest, I've got absolutely nothing written about them. The same way I've got nothing written about Gia and Scott, because
They
what the fuck is there
just,
to say?
yeah, I
You
mean,
can tell that Gia and Scott in this particular episode were just getting along for getting along's sake, because they were barely featured at all.
yeah, and I don't know if you have observed, I could see Scott's face actually down, even though he's putting brave face. He has a bit of an expressive face.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he looked down, but he kept the smile, he kept the show.
Yeah, he did.
And then we have our Re-
Sam and Chris?
Chris arriving first.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I mean, yeah, Chris is a friend of Gia, we know that. So he must have talked to Gia and have actually set a narrative, because
yeah.
when he came, he completely changed the story.
Well, yeah, and I thought it was interesting that in the car on the way to the cocktail party, the producer was saying to him, weren't they like, "Oh, do you think Sam's gonna come?" He's like, "Yeah, of course he's gonna come. He's gonna want to come and lay it out in front of everybody and get everybody's opinions." And then he goes in, and people start asking him, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" "Oh, well, just briefly, it was this and this and this, but I'll tell you properly at the dinner." And like he's wanting to do exactly the same thing that he's saying that Sam will want to do. And like, just be honest.
Yeah,
Just
but
be honest that you both will want to get it out there in front of everybody, because you know that Gia and someone else will probably take your side, and other people will want to take Sam's side, because he's going to spin a tale, and he did.
all right. If you haven't noticed, even though he said he will talk at the table, he kind of told the
Oh yeah, I
brief
know he
summary,
did.
told about how he.
He did, and you're right. He did change it up. He didn't tell the truth. He made it sound so much better than it actually was. He made like the minimum effort, didn't he, at the homestay?
If you let me talk, if you don't cut me off so often, it would be
Oh,
nice, because
I
I'm
do
not cutting you off.
apologize. I do apologize. Shall I write that in my book and bring it up
Please
in front
do.
of the fire later,
Yeah,
or would you
please
prefer to
do.
relax?
Yeah, I'm just getting annoyed because I'm giving you a space. You are just yapping, yapping, yapping. And
This
when
is a
I'm saying
podcast.
something,
People just yap.
yeah, but you are yapping things that,
Okay, I've stopped yapping so that you can, and you're not. You're just yapping about me yapping.
because this is why.
Yap away.
All right. So he comes and he suddenly changes the narrative. He says that they went there. He cooked a lovely dinner. He got flowers and card, and then the next day Sam was upset, and no, Sam was upset. They had a argument over 5 pit, and Sam broke it off.
Yeah.
What bothers me is, why is it so easy for people to like? How pathological are they? Because the truth is gonna come out,
Well, yeah.
because you know how the editors are. If you have
Hmm.
actually seen the show and they are behaving like this, I wonder how pathological in their personal lives, because there is no need for him to throw Chris. He could have simply said, we tried it out, but Chris brought bringing up again and again, and I felt cup of tea.
Sam.
Chris would have something
Yeah.
like, in a not in a native way, he shut off, which is all right, but he could create a narrative which is a bit more neutral, rather than throwing Sam under the bus. Sam
Hmm.
is not right in any way, but for him to say that, it makes me wonder, like, how do they make up?
Yeah. Well, it seems like it's very. I don't know. it just seems to come so naturally to so many of them.
Yeah, it does. Maybe they kind of yeah. We'll talk about this, and then during this, Alicia is being questioned on the sofa, and she's like, "We'll talk it about the dinner," and she kind of cut it off.
Yeah.
And then we go to the dinner table. Sam starts talking about his side, and yeah, he talks about his side because Chris has said a narrative. People on the table are like, Chris has tried, but he didn't meet your expectations, so you're upset. So it was all a bit, how do you say, convoluted.
Yeah. I didn't really get that, what they were saying. Was it like Stella was trying to say, well, he tried and he didn't meet your expectations? Is that you then interpreting him as not trying hard enough because Chris felt like he tried and you felt like he didn't? Like, everybody's got a different threshold. Was Stella just trying to be neutral there or what? I can't really tell.
Because this is what happens when you are one of those persons who kind of takes both their opinions and give equal weight and try to see from both the sides
Yeah.
as if they are both being honest and truthful. What happens is you come up with this thing where you are screwing one person because you don't know what happened and you are relying on their testimonies. Beck tried to comfort Sam, but the table is overly supportive of Chris, saying that you guys both have tried, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. I don't know whether Beck weighing in was a good thing decided on.
You don't like Beck, so you don't have to
No,
make any
like,
comment on Beck. Let's move on.
I don't know. It's just, did Beck or Stella need to chime in at all? Probably.
Yeah, nobody needs to chime in at all. Nobody needs to come on show.
Yeah.
Need not be any of this show. Yeah, come on. Next.
Well, okay. So, like, yeah, if we've covered Sam and Chris, then it's back to Beck and Danny.
Yeah, Beck and Danny.
So, back to Danny saying he would feel like a
Wait,
bitch, right?
wait, before that, Beck is really happy. She's talking about the homestay and he's talking about how Danny kind of went along with the family and friends and he's happy to move. And suddenly, Danny is like, moving to your home makes me feel emasculated. And I'm like, what a fucker. I know he has an exit strategy. Like,
Yeah.
I did not think it would be that. What even surprised me is all the people who talked about equality for women when Tyson was here
Yeah.
suddenly are like, being misogynistic is okay. Suddenly, two-faced fucking bitches. This is why I hated when they talked about Tyson because whatever his views are, he's an honest person, and you suddenly have these men and women suddenly saying that man has to be provider, this, that, and all.
Yeah, because that was Danny's point, wasn't it? As a man, the way he was saying that was making ick because he's like, as a man. But
No,
anyway, he was saying as a man, like, it would make him feel like a bitch to move into her home because from his perspective, he would want to get a place together maybe, and he
no,
would pay the mortgage or he would buy the house. And like, to your point a minute ago, you had Scott saying to camera, well, yeah, I agree, as a man, as the provider. Philip saying the same, as a man, it's being a provider, it's this, it's that. And all these people, like you said previously, were like equal rights for men and women when Tyson was around. They're all now like, no, us men, us provide for our women.
and although women also have shut their mouths, what
Yeah.
happened to you, Rachel? What happened to other fucking gays and bitches there? I don't know, it
I
kind
don't
of
know.
pissed me off. Like, they have no moral. That's why I was really upset when Tyson, even though I may not agree his views, he's an honest person, he has his views, he does he keeps his head steady and does his work, and
Yeah.
suddenly all of this same group were like, you are misogynistic, you are this and that and all of a sudden everything flipped, and that's what surprised me. I knew Danny is gonna bring something up because he wants to create a situation out of nothing, so that Danny is talking about being a bitch. He slept on the show for to be on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about being a bitch moving into a woman with in her home. That make He doesn't have any values. He's garbage,
Well, yeah,
full of
I
shite.
I don't believe he said it all. I just think he made another excuse, just another part of his exit strategy. So she goes, "No, I'm not up for that." He's got another reason to be like, "Well, see, that's one reason why we won't work amongst this." And
Yeah, suddenly he has this. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but we know that Danny is there for the clout no matter what he says. He slept with Beck because that's the only way she's letting him be on the show. Because otherwise, Beck would have walked out. There is
yeah,
no question. Like, unlike Danny, Beck has some integrity.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just sad to see. I don't know. I mean, it's not sad, but it is what it is. We have been expecting this, and
yeah.
that's what happened.
And then they were, when other people were chatting, Beck quickly and quietly had a conversation with Danny about it, didn't she? Saying she felt blindsided that, about what he'd said because although they talked about it previously, it wasn't quite to the depth or extent that he was now saying to the whole group and all of that. And
I
then
mean,
I felt like he was trying to change what he said a bit when he was talking to her, but it might just be that he was just wording it different.
yeah, he does that. Like he kind of manipulates the situation,
Yeah, that's what I
and
thought.
for the first time, I give some credit to the gaslighter John. He clocked it.
Yeah.
Danny, when he talks about his feelings, he always says this, that, this, that. He doesn't.
He changes it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he changes it up now, which I feel like a bitch moving into her place, and yeah, he's making up a thing. He's planning his exit strategy. There is nothing
Yeah.
beyond that. And then coming to Gia and Scott.
Mhm.
Scott is such a bitch.
Why? Why is he a bitch?
They didn't have a decent homestay. It was very turbulent, and
Yeah.
suddenly he went to the camera, and it was like we are all good. We are talking about moving, thinking about moving.
Yeah.
When that's not what happened, like they might have made it up, but it wasn't anything what he said, and he did not say anything because
Oh, yeah, well,
he's GS bitch.
I was gonna say, if he dares say anything, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
You'd go home and probably never hear the end of it.
exactly.
Probably get beaten half to death with his pink neck pillow.
What's the point of having all those muscles if you're such a sissy?
Sissy. Yeah, I get what you mean. I do.
And then we don't have much about Philip and Stella. They have announced that they are going to. Philip is happy to move to Sydney,
Mm-hmm.
and then who are we talking about? Rachel and Steven. They had a lovely moment. They talked about how they connected more and how Rachel is happy to move to. Where is it again?
I think he's from Sydney, but the Central Coast.
Yeah, from the Central Coast, he's happy to move, and Rachel doesn't have any problem. And then we come to the last couple, Alicia and David.
Mm.
Alicia is, I don't know, she's so fake and manipulative. Like, I would put Gia and Alicia as second, like, of all the people, because she knows that David is gonna bring the stuff. Alicia suddenly started talking about how she is taking time to process, how she is reeling, and suddenly is talking about she hasn't had sleep for 3 months because this fella is snoring. What happened about that in the last 3 months? No,
Yeah.
none of those things. She's trying to make up things and try to make him look bad, and David held back.
Yeah.
David kind of said, he kind of overtly said the things like, the mom is happy, the friends are happy. She said that she can't move, and I'm happy to move to Adelaide. And suddenly she's talking about she needs more green marks.
Yeah.
So what exactly is happening? Like, Alicia, she wants to be on the show. She is on the show. Maybe she likes David. She doesn't like David. Maybe she doesn't care about David, and she's looking for an exit strategy. David being, I have to give a lot of credit and applause to David, because if David have fucked up even an inch during the show,
She'd have thrown him.
she
She'd have
would
thrown him
have
out, wouldn't
thrown
she?
him under the bus, and she would have made a molehill out of a small ant thing,
Mountain out of a molehill.
mountain out of a molehill,
Yeah.
and she would make all this ruckus just for her exit strategy. Now she doesn't have one.
Yeah,
So she's really spiraling. This is what she's spiraling about. She mightn't say about anything else. And every time David tries to say something, she would cut off if you have noticed or
I
not.
have. Yeah, I noticed. That man has got the patience of a saint.
Yeah,
He really has. At the start of the episode, when he was had the voiceover and it showed him like looking out over the balcony, I was thinking, oh god, this is it. Like he's gonna confront her and they're gonna end up arguing because he's had it. But no, nothing. He just continues to be incredibly patient, incredibly understanding, and far, far more patient and understanding than she's due right now.
yeah. I mean, he understood that he has to. He kind of clocked about Alyssa how
Yeah.
fake she is, and if he needs to, he understood his exit strategy. Alyssa might look a lot like manipulate a bunch of things, but she's not smart. She's not as smart as David, at least.
Yeah.
And David is kind of playing all his cards. Alicia really doesn't want to look bad, and she will look bad. There is no outing out for her, like, there is nothing out for her anymore.
No. That's
And
it.
with that, let's end the show.
Yeah.
Bye.